I'm Tom Galizia. I'm very happy to have two incredible guests here today. I also am blessed with lead commercial responsibilities for everything that Deloitte does with Alphabet Google. As such, one of my favorite topics is call center. And it's a favorite topic because I happen to use them a lot, as we all do. So excitingly, Google's got amazing technologies, as do many other players. And we've got two leading experts that are going to spend a little bit of time with me in the box, if you will. But maybe you should introduce yourself. We'll start with you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Andy Hawes. I lead our contact center practice globally. I've been working in this space for 25 years.
And Greg Spillman, I'm leading our machine learning go-to-market with Alphabet. And one of the teams that we're partnering with is the Advanced Solutions Lab that has a product that we'll discuss today around the contact center and how to change that experience with your customers.
So 25 years, Andy, I mean, that's beyond passion, right? That's like deeply committed. Can you share, what are some of the fundamental issues that you see in call centers today? Like what are the big ones?
Well, I think the contact center industry is at an inflection point, firstly. For far too long, it's been viewed as a cost center, a necessary evil, and the results for our customers show that. If you've ever called a call center, as you alluded to in the intro. But what's happening now is our clients, executives, are seeing this as a strategic opportunity to engage customers when it matters. And so it's moving to, we use terms like engagement center, value center, a centralized point of contact to engage customers at their moment of need, to provide value, to help them through the journey of the relationship with companies. And that contact center is the hub of how that's happening.
Greg, your thoughts?
I think that recently we're starting to see, and if we talk about some of Google's products around contact center, is the technical capability to do some of those handoffs if you really know your customer. So you want to start with a human-centered design where you know a little bit more about the agent, your customer, the manager, the executive that'll look at a contact center. Some of the technical capabilities of being able to do those handoffs, everyone's had the experience where they'll be on a chat, they'll go type something, and then you'll want to go to an agent and you have to re-say everything that you've just said. It's not really a good customer experience. So some of the technical capabilities that we're starting to see are starting to smooth some of that chain to have one experience with your client versus multiple interactions.
So what are a couple of the reasons why now is more exciting than ever to transform the call center? You talked about the business realities of it, but talk about the technologies and what's available now. Why we're here at Google Next. It's exciting times, big announcements happening.
Yeah, well, Google's disrupting a lot of things, and it includes the contact center as the intersection of the cloud, with the flexibility, the nimbleness that provides in a dynamic environment like customer engagement and contact center, and then in bringing forward some of the advanced capabilities with machine learning, broader artificial intelligence and cognitive solutions, is enabling the aspirations of customer engagement like never before. So, you think about what the contact center enables is thousands, if not millions, of customer contacts every week. The data that's there can help influence a business strategy. Now we have the opportunity to harness that data and apply it in each unique individual interaction, but also apply it to our broader business value chain to improve our products and their services. That's what the technology is enabling, and that's why we're at Google Next, is they're going to be a disruptor here in this space.
Fantastic. Innovator and disruptor.
And a disruptor, that's right.
And so it seems a simple concept to, if your customer calls in, you can answer their question. But if you're a retailer and you've got thousands upon thousands of SKUs and potential answers that you could give them, the pure horsepower, compute power that you need to do some of that intelligence to be able to actively engage with the customer is what you'll see today with the hold on for a second, let me go type in my database and get back to you. Some of the new technologies are allowing you to live be able to answer questions and filter through some of these thousands of opportunities that you could interact with your customer with. So just some of the compute power that a Google has takes some of the concepts that have been around for a while and makes them possible, is what we're starting to see today.
Yeah, I'll add on. I think there's three buckets of where this is making meaningful impact. One is the direct customer engagement. So think about self-service, think about predictive and proactive service. Some of the capabilities and tools that Google brings to bear enable that better than before. The second is when a service representative is actually assisting a customer or an employee or a supplier. bringing information real time in the context of that engagement to assist the interaction. And lastly, what I said before, the third category is taking all of that data, harnessing it and mining it and applying it to your business problems, operationally and strategically. That's where the real gold mine is, if you will, in this space, because it can influence a business.
Can you talk a little bit about the technology landscape? We've talked, obviously, we're here at Google Next, but there are incumbents, there are resellers, there are new cloud-based call center companies. How is that ecosystem fundamentally changing the options that are available to the customers that you both serve?
Yeah, so it's dynamic. Generally, the contact center has not yet moved to the cloud, but that migration is underway as we speak, and really across all facets of the technology. So the direct customer engagement, the CRM layer, which is kind of the tool set that the service representatives would use, as well as kind of the operational and management and analytics layer, it's moving to the cloud, and that's creating new ecosystems. So cloud to cloud, relationships and alliances that previously did not exist. Our perspective is that the world leaders in customer service in the future will be those companies that figure out this new ecosystem of technology partners. A few years ago, Google didn't play in this space as directly as they do now. Now it's creating a new ecosystem in and of itself with Google Cloud, with their ASL group, and the contact center artificial intelligence. So it's dynamic, and no one's figured it out just yet. That's where the opportunity lies.
And Greg, your thoughts just in terms of the shifting landscape of tech providers for call centers?
If we go back to Google at Google Next, but so with some of their APIs, there's the ability to get to the cloud for components of your call center. So I think we do some work where you can shift the entire call center to the cloud, but with some of their APIs, there's the ability to take a piece. So if we look at topic modeling, so really understanding what's going on in your call center versus today, you might hit a button just to get to talk to somebody. So if you do the analytics behind that, you might get a false signal. But by using APIs that can pick up sentiment or intent or what somebody's calling about, you can then change your call center, and that's a way to go to a piece of it to the cloud. You don't have to move the entire thing to the cloud all at once to be able to leverage some of these capabilities. We're starting to see ways where you can start with a piece or move the whole thing, is what's been interesting the past year.
Andy, you've talked about being our global call center leader, and I've watched the impressive growth for at least a decade under your leadership. What I think has really been interesting to me is when I raised call center to our industry leaders as like the next big thing for us to really like quadruple down on, and we've been talking about that. They're really into it. They really think this is a space that has a massive need. It is ripe for disruption. I mean, can you give me maybe one or two of your predictions around where this is going to go, how fast it's going to go?
Yeah, that's interesting. I try to stay out of the prediction business. What I've said about some of the advancements in AI is that it will happen. I think it'll happen in my career. I'm just not sure if it's tomorrow or 10 years from now. But I'll say this, it is going to have a meaningful impact. What you have known as contact center or call center is fundamentally going to change. So all too often the negative experiences that we all associate a call center interaction with is going to change. The simple interactions, the seemingly straightforward problems customers have is going to be highly automated. Moreover, it's going to present an opportunity to be personalized in a way that we never have before with customers. We're going to know who you are, we're going to know why you're trying to contact us, and we're hopefully going to be predictive and proactive in that. That's going to feel different. Going back to what I said before about the self-service, the next best action, agent assist, and the operational piece, what we're really concerned with, the technology is going to be there, is how do we orchestrate what we call the human experience to build that connection when automation is ubiquitous. How do we maintain that connection so there's a trust and there's a willingness to do a business relationship and in a value way to keep those relationships intact from a customer to company or employee to employer relationship. That's where I think we as industry leaders have to really think through and orchestrate our service delivery models, our experiences, our capabilities, our talent to make this work. When that inflection point happens is when it'll happen. I don't know, Tom, when it'll be.
And to take a little bit of a different angle, so we've talked a lot about the customer experience. If we look at some of the heavily regulated industries like banking, for example, how you interact with your customer is tightly regulated. You can, for example, if you're going to collect on a loan, you can only contact your customer so many times during a time window. So ensuring that your call center staff are operating under those said rules, with some of these new technologies, they'll pick up on that earlier so that you can influence the behavior or change the behavior or change your processes and procedures ahead of a regulator being the one that finds the gap and comes down with a fine. Better customer experience, but then there's also in the regulated industry ensuring that you're interacting with your customer the way that the regulatory agencies have set forward.
Yeah, that's a great example. Another example that comes to mind as you were talking is in some of the hospitality clients that we serve. Today they're limited to their piece of the hospitality equation. But as this data and this information becomes available, they start to harness it, they can expand the services and the value they're providing to their customers on a broader spectrum of that hospitality journey. So it's actually creating business opportunities, both in revenue, but also in loyalty and retention by providing that value on a broader spectrum to customers. So we're seeing that start to evolve as well.
Fantastic. I may be shifting back to more practical and pragmatic versus predictive, if that's more comfortable for you. I mean, what observations around leaders, laggards, industries that are cutting edge, willing to take the leap first? Is there a direct correlation where you see certain industries ahead of the others?
Well, that's a great question. I think historically, financial services, some high-tech companies, telecom companies have been willing to take risks in some advancing technologies because of the scale they deal with and the impact to the bottom line, frankly. But I would say today, most, if not all, industry leaders I talk to are looking for that exponential leap because of what's becoming available in the contact center space. I mean, even you think about federal, which has historically been very conservative, or some healthcare companies, very conservative. We're starting to see them wanting to take that leapfrog approach with some of this technology. So I think it's wide open.
Greg, your thoughts?
A couple weeks ago, I may have not thought federal as much, but in the past couple weeks, we've had some major conversations around federal and looking at some of the call center work that they do. And so it's really looking across the board. I may have not had that thought about a month ago, but we have not seen an industry that has not been interested in exploring proof of concepts in ways to test some of this new technology in their call center. If we look at some things around compliance, there's a couple more hurdles in some of the more heavily regulated industries, which is one of the things we're looking at. But from an interest perspective, it's across the board.
Share with me some of, you're here at Next, you mentioned a couple of APIs. There are other things here at Alphabet Google. So Home Assist, voice is the new UX. And when you talk about call center, most people think about a phone. What are some of those other horizons that are starting to shift the way a company interacts with a customer or a partner or a supplier? I think it's a really exciting time on those dimensions.
So other products like, or channels like a Google Home or a Nest product, you're in your customer's living room, office. With that ability, you may not just get the, I'm upset, so I'm going to call. You get the, I'm sitting on my couch and I thought of something, so now I'm going to ask. So you have the ability to interact with your customers more frequently, potentially, which may get you the opportunity to get ahead of the I'm angry, so I'm calling. So that's one of the channels that we're starting to see from a hardware perspective.
Yeah, I would echo. I think we've endorsed concepts like customer journey mapping as a mechanism to understand what your customer is trying to accomplish, what their experience is, and these technologies that you're alluding to in home, in vehicle, in office, really does connect the real experience that we all live every day. It presents new opportunities to engage, to bring value, as I always say, in an appropriate way, not an intrusive way. But this is a great example of the challenge that is sitting on our clients' executives' doorstep is how do you orchestrate, when this technology and this access is available, the right experience, the right value of delivery? That's what keeps executives up. It used to be the operational reality of that next call.
Right.
Now it's trying to orchestrate this true full experience ecosystem and do it in a valuable way.
So are you saying, I mean, maybe I'm going out a little bit a bridge too far, but is the call center a catalyst for digital transformation of an enterprise?
Yes, I believe so. You think the amount of customer interaction that the contact center and other channels can present is staggering. It is oftentimes the largest. When you look at the lifespan of a relationship with a customer, the contact center has the biggest piece of that. It might not be the most valuable, the sales piece might be, or a certain moment in time, but that is a major piece. So yes, it can be a catalyst for digital transformation through data transformation, analytics transformation, you name it, customer transformation, of course. So yes, I believe so.
You know, when you think about upgrades, you just think the traditional way is better, faster, cheaper. I'm going to move to this product. But with some of the hardware capabilities and some of the AI ML that's coming out today, it's a true experience change and experience design that we're starting to see. So the shifts that are going to happen over the next year are not going to be, you know, how do I just update this piece of a contact center to be a little bit faster? It's going to be, I'm going to fundamentally change the way that I'm interacting with my customer. And that design, that business design, is going to be crucial as you start to put all these pieces together.
I love the idea of cost center to revenue opportunity, pivot foot for digital transformation. I came into this thinking call center is something that I've long dreaded, but the two of you have given me hope that we're going to see evolution and revolution in the call center for good.
Yeah.
So thank you both for being with us today, and look forward to working with you in the marketplace to make that real.
Absolutely.
Take care,
Thanks.
guys.